Hey everyone, welcome back to another 911 video. In this one we're going to change the battery. So this is a 2013 911. If you've watched my videos, you've seen this car a bunch. I've done a whole bunch of work on it. If you haven't watched my videos, please check them out. You'll see all the different things that I've done to this car. But anyway, it's time to replace the battery. What's happening is if I'm sitting in it, fooling around with the top. Actually, when I installed the smart top controller, that's when I realized the battery needs to be replaced. After futzing around with that smart top controller for about 20-30 minutes without the engine running, I couldn't start the car. It would click. So battery needs to be replaced. So yesterday I stopped by the dealership, I bought a brand new battery, and I inquired how much they wanted to put it in. $190. So what do you get for $190? Well, of course you get the installation of the battery, but you also get them reprogramming the car to know that it's a new battery. Evidently, the software causes the charging system to ramp down or ramp up. I don't know which, but it changes the charging curve over the life of the battery. And this, of course, is supposed to extend the life of the battery. And anyway, I read a few forum articles and talked to a few people that have replaced their own battery. And I got a couple of different answers. I don't know what's accurate, but we're going to do it. I'm going to do it myself because A, number one, I want to, and B, it'd be a nice test to see if it really does matter. I plan to have the car for a really long time, and we'll see how much life I get out of the battery. So what I am going to do is hook up the OBD2 port thing that you reprogram it with, reset the codes, and I'm going to reset everything. And what I've been told is that will accomplish the same thing. It'll reset all the warnings, it'll reset the computer to tell the car, start from scratch, and hopefully start charging the battery as if it were a new battery. And I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Like I said, I really don't know if it's gonna work or not, but if I get, let's say it's a 2013, so it's 2020, if I get 5 or 7 years out of this battery, then it'll prove that doing that dealer reset thing doesn't really matter. If I get a year out of the battery, then hey, I was wrong. But anyway, stay tuned. I'll show you the parts that I'm going to use. They're right here on the table, and then we'll go over to the car and actually do it. All right, here's the parts we're going to use. This is a power converter. It's just a 110 to 12 volt power converter. You've seen this in my videos before. If you're going to power up a radar detector or really anything that needs 12 volt, you can use this device to do that. It doesn't produce a bunch of amps, but it does produce 12 volts. This is the OBD2 plug that will provide 12 volt power to the computer in the car. So essentially, the computer won't even know that we replaced the battery because I'm going to put this in first, and then when I take the battery off, the fact that this is providing power to the computer will kind of trick the car into thinking that the battery is still there. Why am I doing that? Well, number one, it saves all of my presets. Nothing I don't have the risk of having to take it to the dealer to have them do some voodoo magic to get the thing to come back on. I'm a little bit paranoid about that, but it can't hurt. That's the main reason why I'm doing it, is it can't hurt. And then this is the Port 2 iCarsoft reprogrammer, setting thing. And you just plug that in afterward, and there is a setting in here to reset all. And what I believe is by doing that, it's going to aid in telling the computer that there's a new battery in there. And I don't know that for sure, but once again, this step is not going to hurt, that's for sure. And by the way, we'll learn together if there is actually a setting in there for the battery to tell it that you replaced the battery. I've been through most of the menus. I don't think there is, but who knows, there could be. So, all right, that's the stuff I'm going to use. Of course, I've got the battery over there. You can see right here, I've already taken the panel off to expose the battery. So the next thing we're going to do is hook up that power supply and then pull that battery out. It is Africa hot in here. Show you a new toy. Alexa, turn on the garage fans.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Cool, right? All right, let's hook up the power supply over here to this driver. So right in here, I'm gonna pull out the beautiful exclusive option leather. Oh, we got a little mark on it. Gonna clean that up. Anyway, beautiful exclusive option leather covered fuse panel. And right in here somewhere, right there, that purple thing, right here is where we're gonna plug in and give this car some power. This is just the Porsche battery maintainer. Unplug it from the wall first, then unplug it from the car. And I just let that hang somewhere. Looks like a good spot. All right, this will come on by itself. So I'm just going to plug it in. And got a green light here. So we know we have power and it won't reach, so we need an extension cord. Of course we need an extension cord. All right, we now have plugged into an extension cord, green light, and we're just going to plug this in. Right there. There we go. Make sure it's in all the way. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Car should not know that it's been unplugged. I'll show you one other thing. This red light here is on the OBD2 port side, so you know you're getting power. All right, the first thing we need to do is remove the inflator and the inflator housing. So just take the cover off, pop the inflator out, and get the inflator housing off. That's 2 screws. These are a T30, I think. Now my glasses on. Yeah, T30. This other one, the horn is hooked onto, so you just gotta be careful there and don't let the horn drop. And of course there's one more friggin' screw somewhere. Actually, there's no more screws. It looks like just, there we go. So it's just these compression, it's just clips. So there's 3 clips that actually clip this onto the side of the battery tray. There's this bracket right here, and that bolt way back there, or nut way back there, and a nut right here. And then there's also the same size. These are all 13 millimeter for the clip that holds the battery down. So next we'll remove those. There's one. And 3, and the battery should just slide right out, which it does. So battery's totally free. And you have a couple different options for batteries with this. And you can see they just give you different holes here and here to put 3 different size batteries in. I went with the exact same battery. I did that because when you run the VIN on the car, it tells you what fits. And if you run the 14 says it'll take multiple size batteries. When you run the 13, it doesn't say that. So to play it safe, I just got exactly the same one. Probably stupid because it was $10 more for an extra 10 amp hours. This is a 70. The 80 was an extra 10 bucks. But whatever. If it lasts 5 years, it's fine. I'm sure it will. Okay, so you get to see how neurotic I am with electricity. I'm going to wrap them in plastic in a thing here. Anyway, you need a 10mm socket, and all you'll do is loosen up this nut here, which I've already done a little bit, and I had to go get a screwdriver to open this up and make it so I can pull this right off. So I don't want to, actually I'm going to loosen it a little bit more. There we go. Once you loosen it, it just wants to come right off. So what I'm going to do, because remember, the car is energized, right? It's plugged in. I don't want to touch anything. I don't want anything to short out. So I'm simply going to remove the positive, scoot the battery out of the way. I'm going to wrap this positive in a rubber glove. And then I'm going to clamp it. This is plastic. I am going to clamp it. Right there, so that it doesn't move. I'm going to do the same to the other side. And because there's nothing that the negative can touch that's going to matter, I don't need to wrap that one up. There we go. Okay, so all I really wanted to do there was get those wires completely out of the way so that I can get this battery out of here. And let's see if I can just lift it out. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so it is heavy as F, but it is certainly possible to lift that out. I guess if I wasn't so massively strong, I would stand in the trunk here and do it that way. While I've got this out, of course, I'm going to clean the battery tray, so no need for you to watch that. I'll show you what's down in there. Look at that beauty. That battery tray is coronavirus free. That is for sure. And you can see here there are the holes where you can put 2 additional sizes of battery if you wanted. This car has the extended range fuel tank. I could have put the bigger battery in like I mentioned, but why carry around that weight if I don't need it? But you could if you wanted to. All right, the new battery. Jesus. Right in, and I put the negative on first. careful with this one. There is actually plenty of room to reach your fingers up in there. Now, when you try to put the nut on the stud instead of a bolt on a stud, it works way better. Straight as I can anyway. When I go to tighten it, and there we go. That is straighter. This is tight. Everything is tight. I'm going to unplug the power supply. I'm going to plug in the programmer thing, reader, error reader. System initializing. I want to go to settings. Oh no, that's the settings for the thing here. So I want to diagnose Porsche. There we go. Now it's going through. You can see it's in service mode. And it just went through. So really all it did was a diagnosis on everything. And it's not coming back with any error code. So, you know, I'm not convinced that this actually did anything as it pertains to the battery. I'm going to go ahead and escape and start her up. Let's see what happens. Car's been running for a minute here. I made sure that everything is the same as it was, so the car never knew that the battery was out, which is great. And I'm going to put a little dielectric grease on these terminals, keep them nice, put everything back together. The only thing that has to go back in is the inflator, put the cover back on, and that's it. I consider this done. I have no idea if it's going to charge properly, but my suspicion is it's going to be just fine, and we'll see. If anything weird happens, I will post another video, but outside of that, please leave a comment if you think that I'm going to blow up my battery someday. Otherwise, try this yourself. From what I think, it worked out just fine. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, please subscribe.